Hi, welcome back to my Disney family. So today we are talking all about fast passes. But I want you to just make sure that you already know about our Twitter feed at My Disney Family 2 and our blog at mydisneyfamilyblog.wordpress.com. So, FastPass Plus. It's a big deal. If you want to get the most out of your time being at Disney, you're going to want to use the My Disney experience to book your fast passes. So I'm going to be doing that with you today. This is actually the 61st day before our trip. And on the 60th day, which is going to be tomorrow morning, we will be able to book our fast passes for our upcoming trip. And I'm super excited. So I want to kind of get ready to do those instead of being in this crazy whirlwind of what rides to pick. So we're going to start off by kind of doing a little pre-planning for tomorrow morning. When you are a resort guest and you're staying at a Disney resort, which we're staying at Walt Disney World. So if you checked out our first blog on planning, you would see that we picked Wilderness Lodge. One, because we're not staying that long and we want to be really immersed in the magic of Disney. And we're going to really focus on Magic Kingdom this trip because of our 3-year-old. So that's really one of our reasons on why we're staying there. It's also going to save us a bunch of time just moving around and not having to take a bus. They have a water taxi from the Wilderness to the Magic Kingdom, and that's just very, very convenient. So with FastPass Plus, that 60-day window is very crucial for resort guests. And if you're off the resort, you only get a 30-day window. So 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And since we're Central Standard Time, it's 6 a.m. So tomorrow morning, I'm going to be getting up super early and I'm going to be ready and planned. So this is what we're going to do. I always start off by making an itinerary, Word document. This is Google Docs, just something that kind of gives me an itinerary of, I've already made our resort reservation. I've already looked at which parks we're going to, which days. I've also kind of just penciled in some restaurants, from quick service restaurants, which could change, some parades, fireworks. I've made some dining reservations for table services. Naps are a big deal because I have a 3.5-year-old, so I kind of need to plan around that. Possibly some pool time also. So fast passes are going to be very, very important to us because we want to make use of our time and we don't want to have to waste that time because we're only going to be here for a short trip. So the first thing that I always look at, because I do have a kiddo, is height requirements. So the Disney Park blog has made these wonderful attraction height ranges. And I'm going to show you the blown up version. This is a Magic Kingdom one. They have one for each park, and I'm going to put this in the show notes below. And it's really great because it tells you which rides are for everybody and then which rides are for maybe, the older kids. So my 3.5-year-old is tall and skinny. So he's actually at the 40-inch mark. But I really don't think that Stitch's Great Escape is good for him. I really even don't like that ride. So for my 3.5-year-old, even though he measures up, that doesn't mean we're going to be riding it. Big Thunder and Splash Mountain, I'm kind of considering. Seven Dwarfs, I've kind of considered. On our last trip, he did Barnstormer and loved it. So definitely make sure that you're trying some of those more moderate rides before you dive into maybe the faster rides with your little ones. So this is the first thing I always look at. These are also located on Pinterest. So you can see we have Epcot, Hollywood Studios, Animal Kingdom. Since we're not going to Hollywood Studios or Animal Kingdom for this trip, I'm going to mainly look at the Epcot one. Most of them are for anyone. Soarin' and Test Track, again, Test Track is a very fast ride. So again, even though my kiddo can measure up, I don't think we're going to be taking him on there just because I think it's a little too fast for him. And we need to, maybe think about, is that the best ride for him? Also, these were sent out or produced in 2015, these charts that Disney made. So, Frozen isn't on here yet. So I'm pretty sure it's in the any category, but just another thing you need to think about. They are a little off-dated, not by much. Not a ton has changed. The Hollywood Studio one, I mean, obviously some things have closed. And then when Pandora comes out for Animal Kingdom, that will need to be changed as well. But for now, I think these are pretty good ranges to see what your kid is going to be good for and so on. The second thing that I want to look at is which rides really need a FastPass. Not every ride needs to have a FastPass. And so the Disboards is a great place to talk and share information with other Disney people. But they've also come up with a ranking system of A, B, and C. Which ones are going to save the most? Some and little time. So I'm going to be really focusing on Magic Kingdom and Epcot because those are the two parks we're going to be going to. So I can see which ones are in that A category, and that's going to save us some time. So Peter Pan's Flight is one of them that I'm definitely going to be looking at. Seven Dwarfs Mine Train and Splash Mountain are the three that I think that we could all do as a family. This is a family trip. We want to be able to do things as a family. We could use Rider Switch, which is where we both go up. We ask for a Rider Switch pass. My husband stands in line and rides it himself. Then we switch. He would stay with our son, and then I would ride it by myself. So you can use that program, which is great, but it just wastes a lot of time. And we've both been to Magic Kingdom and Walt Disney World several times. So, if this is one trip where we don't do Space Mountain, it will be okay. Epcot is a little different. It has a tiered system. So you can see on this list, Frozen is on here. It's a tiered system. It's in the group 1 category. You only get to select one. So this is probably going to be the ride that we do a Fast Pass for because it is right now one of the most popular rides at Walt Disney World. And then tier 2, Turtle Talk with Crush and Spaceship Earth will probably be two other good options for that area. Also, Character Spot, I have seen gotten really big lines. So that's just another one that I might use because we love to see the characters. And the lines at Magic Kingdom for the characters can get super long. So this might be a really good option is to go visit the characters at Epcot instead. They also have Hollywood Studios, Animal Kingdom, but this is just things to think about. The third thing that you need to think about is what you've already planned. So I've already planned some dinners. I've already penciled in parades and fireworks and different things. So you're going to want to, look and see, our naps because naps are very important to us because of a 3-year-old. I also look at the park times. So, we're going to be going to the park later in the day on Saturday. Whereas on Sunday, we're going to be going early because of extra magic hours. So, by planning your fast passes in advance and really looking at the 3 things, height requirements if you have kids. Number 2 is, just trying to use your fast passes to save you time. And then number 3 is really looking at your schedule and seeing how it fits in with what you're doing so that you're really enjoying this trip. The night that we get to Magic Kingdom, we're going to focus primarily on Adventureland and Frontierland and maybe into Liberty Square. So these are the 3 fast passes that I've chosen because they're also some of our favorites. Pirates of the Caribbean is one of our favorite rides, and so is Haunted Mansion. So when I go back up to my list here of, what's going to save us the most time, Splash Mountain does come out at an A, but Haunted Mansion and Pirates of the Caribbean both are Bs. And that's okay. I would love to be able to ride Big Thunder, but with our 3.5-year-old, and I'm just don't know if he's ready for that. That's just what we're choosing to do. We might get to ride it another day if if he thinks he's ready. And some of those rides, we might just kind of have him watch them a couple times and see if he does want to ride them and if he's being adventurous, because he does kind of have that kind of nature. Just, your kids and what they're able to ride and what they're not able to ride. So these are, the rides that we are going to probably try to enjoy while we're there that evening. And it also kind of coincides with Columbia Harbor House is the quick service I've penciled in, which is in Liberty Square as well. And then we're probably going to go back early that evening just because the next morning we are going back to Magic Kingdom for extra magic hours. Those extra magic hours, again, are in Tomorrowland and Fantasyland. So those are the two lands that we're going to focus on that morning before we go back to the resort and take a nap. I have a table service, actually not table service for breakfast, a quick service reservation for Be Our Guest. And we talk a lot about the dining options in our second planning video. So definitely check that out. So since we're going to be focusing on those two lands, we will probably spend most of our time during extra magic hours in Tomorrowland. So I've decided to use our fast passes for the rides in Fantasyland. So Seven Dwarfs Mine Train and Peter Pan are two of the most popular rides. They're both in that A category. And then Storytime with Belle, I've seen have really long lines. It's very popular, and I just love that the kids get to be so, they get to interact and they get to be a part of the show. So we're definitely going to do that one as well. There are some rides that I know that will be walk-ons that I've walked on several times. Ariel is one of those rides. And Dumbo, we've used a fast pass for before, but it's got that wonderful play area. So why wouldn't you want to sit in there and let your kid play around while you're waiting to ride Dumbo? So using a fast pass for Dumbo just kind of seems a little silly to me. Then if we can get more fast passes once we go back after dinner and have time, possibly fireworks that evening, that might be an option. On our Epcot day, again, we're going to just eat breakfast at the hotel, and Frozen is going to be my number one pick. So in the morning, when I go to make these, I'm not going to start an order. I'm probably going to go straight for Frozen because I know if we don't get that, it's going to be bad. So I know that we need to get that fast pass. And I also have these kind of in order of where we're going to be going when we get in the park, because I know that we are going to be entering through the main gate of Epcot. We might try to go straight for Soarin' to see if that ride doesn't have a long wait time when we first get there. When we come out of there, we might just go straight to character spots. We could go do Turtle Talk with Crush and the Nemo ride. And then we'll probably head towards World Showcase. And so that's why I have Frozen as our third ride. I don't want to have to go to World Showcase for Frozen at 9 a.m. and then come back for character spot at noon. Because I know that we're going to want to eat lunch at World Showcase. And so that's another thing, just making sure that your planning flows. We're going to start at the front of the park and move our way towards World Showcase by lunchtime. So, just having that in mind as well. On our last day, we again have extra magic hours for Magic Kingdom. Tomorrowland is not our most favorite land in Magic Kingdom, so we'll probably, during extra magic hours, hit up Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger Spin, go get Barnstormer and Dumbo again, just because Oh, and teacups because they're my favorite. And then we'll probably go straight to Fantasyland. So I do have one fast pass for Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, but then we're going to go hit up some of those rides that we did the first night. And so this is really, since it's our last day, we're really only going to hit up those rides that we love the most. And Haunted Mansion, Pirates of the Caribbean are two of our favorites. So remember, there's no fast passes during that extra magic hour time. And because of that, then you're able to make some of your fast passes maybe at that like 11 o'clock or noon time slot, because there's not as many people that get there early, especially on the extra magic hour days. So just making sure that your day flows. Plus, we're going to be eating lunch at Liberty Tree. So we're going to already be in Liberty Square / in that Frontier Adventureland area. There's that walkway that you can get between those two lands pretty quickly without going all the way around by Splash Mountain. So remember that as well. There's those little shortcuts. So that is what I've got so far. And I will see you back in the morning, and we're going to get in My Disney Experience and make these fast passes. Okay, so it is 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is 6 a.m. Central Standard Time here in Illinois. So we are going to be booking our fast passes. This is our 60-day window that just opened up. If you go to your My Disney Experience app and log in, you can just click right on the My Disney Experience, and all of your stuff for your trip is going to come up. And then our fast pass is now not going to have a little lock on it. It's going to say make selections, and we're at that 90-day window. Something else just to remember is that itinerary I've already showed you is up on my iPad over here, so I can kind of look at it separately, so that I'm, just kind of glancing at it when I am making my fast pass selections. So we are going to get started making our fast passes. Super, super excited. So this trip is just for me, my husband, and my son. So my parents are not going for this trip. So we're selecting the people we're making our trip for. We are starting, I'm actually not going to start on the 8th because those rides are important to us, but they're not the most important. I'm actually going to start on our April 10th date because we want to get that Frozen ride. So you click the date and you click the park. We're going to be at Epcot that day. We're going to want to use morning because, you're able to get fast passes later. And we're going to be in World Showcase around lunchtime. So noon is my plan for Frozen. And I got it. I'm so excited. So happy that we got that. So that's exciting. So we're going to keep on the same day and just get those days done. So again, you click the people that you're using this FastPass for. And you could split, like say my husband wants to ride something versus what I want to ride. You could split that up. So since Epcot's a tiered plan, I've already chosen my tiered 1 option. So these are all of the tier 2 options. We are going to plan for Character Spot and Turtle Talk with Crush. And I was really hoping to get Turtle Talk around 11 so that I have a 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, and a 12 o'clock. So let's do 10:55. So there's going to be maybe a little bit 5-minute gap here. Kind of going backwards. But that's okay. And I'm going to continue to do my 3rd Fast Pass for this park. And so I'm going to want a 9:55 for my Turtle Talk with Crush. we're going to click view more. And 9:45. Oh, we already chose this experience. Okay, so I was wrong. I'd already done this one. So we're going to go back. And we're going to do character spot. Oh, where's back button? There it is. Sometimes you just gotta... So we need to do the character spot. So I need to look at more times for it and see if there's a 9:30. So that'll work. So I can always go back and kind of tweak these a little bit. You can do that here in the My Disney Experience app or on the app on your device as well, on an iPad or tablet or your cell phone. So once, and remember, it's you got to be patient because the Disney website is always, they're always updating it, or there's, oh, here we go, see? This is gonna happen. So go back to My Disney Experience app and go to the FastPass, and let's see if we can get back in here. So yeah, it did not add another FastPass. So we're gonna go back, click on the people that are joining me. For that date on the 10th at Epcot. Let's see if we can get character spot now. Sometimes it's just so overloaded with people being on here that, see, it's gone already. Dang it. Okay, so what we do is I'm going to make a 110 FastPass, and then we're going to move them around. So obviously I'm going to have to do Turtle Talk with Crush. I'm going to say no, thank you, I'm all done so I can look at this. So I need to move Turtle Talk to a little bit earlier so that I can fit the other ride in between. So we're going to modify this and see if we can get an earlier time. So let's see, we want this one. We just want a different time. So let's pick that 9:50 time slot instead of 10:50. And so we're going to confirm that. Okay, so now we've got this gap. But so 10:50 to noon is where I could put character spot. So let's see if we can get that. So we're going to modify. So 10:50 is our last time that's ending for Turtle Talk. It's really a game. Let's view more times. 10:50, perfect. So we will have back-to-back. Confirm. So it really is a game. So the park actually opens at 9, so we'll have about 50 minutes to try to get Soarin' in maybe, and maybe Figment or the land that's right there. Then we can go over and do Seas with Nemo and Friends and Turtle Talk with Crush. Go over and do Character Spot and then head towards World Showcase for lunch. And once we get to Norway, then we will hit up the Frozen Ever After ride. So this is just making fast passes for one day. I'm going to be making fast passes for a couple more days. So let's see what happens. So I'm going to pick the next day that's the most important, which is our full Magic Kingdom day, is our next full Magic Kingdom. Here it is, extra magic hours from 8 to 9. So we'll be really hitting up Tomorrowland and Fantasyland, which you cannot make fast passes for. So we'll be able to make our first fast pass for 9 o'clock. Hopefully. Seems like there's some people on here. So we're going to be looking at Seven Dwarfs Mine Train and seeing what time we can get, because that's our most popular ride. Ooh, 9:05. We just got that by the hair of our chinny chin chin. We do have beer guests, but it's right across, so we could get on Seven Dwarfs Mine Train right before lunch or right before our little late breakfast. So that'll work out perfectly. I'm going to continue. Peter Pan and Storytime with Belle is our other two fast passes we want to get for this day. So we're going to look for Peter Pan next because it gets super long lines. And we're going to hope. Actually, you know what? Storytime with Belle would be perfect for 10 to 11. So let's check and see if there's extra times here. No. So the earliest it has is 12:20. So we're going to pick that time just so that we get it and confirm it. Okay, so we got that 12:20 for Enchanted Tales with Belle. So now I have this gap in the middle of around 10 o'clock to noon that we can put Peter Pan in. So we kind of have a 2-hour window. And, you know, we'll just wing it and find other things for us to do. So let's look for Peter Pan and let's hope there is something that we can work with after 10 o'clock. So 10:15 would be perfect. So we will do 10:15. And, you know, I might go back to this. This will be after our breakfast reservation. Since Be Our Guest is a quick service, I'm not carving out a huge, you know, window for it. So our fast passes can butt up against it. No big deal. Because we'll maybe be in there in a half an hour. So we could ride one of our fast passes before, one of our fast passes after. If it was a table service, I would not make a fast pass around it. I would definitely have like a 2 or 3 hour window, especially if you're going to one of the resorts nearby, or, you know, you never know if you're going to have to wait a little bit before you get seated. So those are just important plan things. Also remember, you can go up here and view your plans, and that will come up and I can just make sure. Okay, so, and it also puts in your dining also. So I would definitely have a good amount of times for Seven Dwarfs. I don't know, I might look at that. We might switch that out. I'm kind of concerned because I do want to be Our Guest at the time we're supposed to. So that one I might have to go back and look at. And then our Epcot day here is pretty close in time. You know, you got 9:50, 10:50, and there's a 10-minute window, and then noon. But we're going to, you know, it takes some time to get back to World Showcase and make that walk or that jag. But with all of the flower and garden going on and all the topiaries, we're going to definitely want to stop and take pictures of those and that kind of stuff. So just, you know, keeping that in mind as well. Well, I hope that you have enjoyed helping us plan our fast passes. Also remember, I'm going to link all of these below, but this is just another thing to remember is, you know, making sure that you're saving the most time and that you're thinking about the people in mind. Because my mother, you know, would ride most of these rides that we're going to ride. But when they did go with us back in the summer, you know, she is not a roller coaster person. So I made a lot of fast passes that were for just, you know, like me and my husband. And then I would make a fast pass for my mom and my dad. And then Jackson would kind of go with us or not go with us depending on the ride. Just because we don't all like the same kind of rides, and you just got to think about the people in your party. So I hope that you've really enjoyed this kind of tutorial of how we plan our fast passes. And please comment and share with us what are your most favorite rides at Walt Disney World that saves you time to get fast passes for. Maybe there's a ride I have not thought of, or you just want to share with the group. So please comment and subscribe below. Have a magical day.